Hi, my name is John. I'm the owner of Bear Paw Wilderness Designs. I want to show you another one of my tents. It's called the Cub Den. This right here is the Cub Den 2. It's a two-man tent. I also have a Cub Den 1.5, which is about a 1.5 person tent. It's a large one-person tent. You can also put a lot of gear in it, or you can get one person plus another smaller person, or two people very tight. The two-man tent, like this one, the Cub Den 2, easily handles two people plus a little bit of gear. First off, I want to show you how to set it. This tent right here is a Cuban tent. It also comes in steel nylon, but most people would order this would come in Cuban because they're looking for a very lightweight tent. Also, this tent has the netting, perimeter netting put on it. It comes optional with that. You can also get a full floor if you want full netting floor, but most people, like I said, either just the perimeter netting or the tent without the netting. This tent requires two trekking poles, or two poles. The front pole holds up the door area, and what we're going to do is start out about 31 inches, somewhere around in there. It depends on how you set it up, how high you set it, but usually around 30-31 inches for the front pole. And the rear pole, we're going to start it about 50 inches, 51, 52 inches. It can be erected inside the tent, or it can also be erected outside the tent. And I'll show you both ways. I'll show you how on both ways here. First off, what we do is we take the corners and we stake out the back two corners. Now all the stakeout points have line locks on them, so they can be adjusted. I like to adjust the tent about 6 inches above the ground, 3 to 6 inches above the ground, to get complete ventilation. After we got the two rear corners staked out, we're going to add the rear pole. And like I said, I'm going to do it first. I'm going to do it originally on the inside. You need the handle end up and the spike end down. There, I put the center pole, the rear center pole in. Also there's two guidelines on the back that goes to one stake. I put that guideline to hold it up. The next thing I do is put up the front. Now, since this tent doesn't have a vestibule or beak on it, you have to attach it to the outside like this. And here's your doorway. The next step is to do the two corners, the two front corners. Now that's the basic tent. Now I'm going to go through and adjust either high or low. But what I'm going to do, I want to keep it about 3 inches on one side, 3 or 4 inches on this one. But I'm going to pull the corners tight. I'm going to pull the back tight. There. Now if you want to raise it or lower it, you just raise or lowers the trekking poles. If it starts to slump a little bit, what that means usually is that the center pole is not high enough. And on this one, it's about right. I could even go a little higher if I want and pull it tight. Now, like I said, this tent has the full netting on it. Like that. And like I said, your doorway is usually around 30 inches, so you can easily crawl into the tent, and you get some protection from the rain. The other thing is there's tie-out points on the sides. Okay, you can see the tie-out points on the sides, how they bring the foot area up on the tent. And what I did is I just got a little stick, stick that I found around the site, and then I just raise it that way. In a second, I'll take you around and show you everything on the tent. Now, as you can see, this tent is an asymmetrical tent. The left side on this tent is higher than the right side. That's to give you where your head is. It gives you a little bit more room above your head, and then your feet, it's a little tighter on your, a little closer, the canopy's a little closer on your feet. Okay, now what I did is went around and adjusted the stakes a little bit. Since I pulled that section out, I had to tighten some other areas or loosen some other areas. The other thing is I took the netting and make sure it's underneath the tent. With the netting, what you normally do is you lay your ground cloth or your sleeping bags or your mattress on top of it. You need to put small stones or small sticks or whatever holds the netting in. Now I want to show you a little bit about the tent here. Here's the inside. And like I said, there's plenty of room inside in this tent. Easily for 2 people. It's hard to see with the camera, but when you get inside, you'll see how big it is. And like I said, there's line locks on all the tie-out points. The front also has a little place for your grommet for your carbon tip to sit in. Here's on the right side where your feet would go, how I pulled it out with the stick. Let's go around to the back. And you can see in the back, I like to leave a lot of gap in the back because you need that breeze through on this tent. And also, like I said, there's 2 tie-out points here. There's one at the top, which also has a grommet there, where if you want to stick the pole in the outside and get it out of the inside, you can do that also. The thing is, you probably need about at least a 54 or 55 inch pole to do that. And you can see it's going to 1 stake. Normally this tent takes 6 to 7 stakes to set up, because as you tie it out over, like over here, that's your 7th stake right there. Let's go back around, and you can see the shape. Like I said, right there, you have usually have at least about 50 inch minimum peak height, and about a 30 inch minimum height at the door. And here's the side with your head would go. You can also, there's tie outs there, you can also pull that out if you want to too, but my personal experience, you normally don't need it. But if you're, you know, over 6'1", 6'2", you might want to pull that out so you can get a little closer to the edge right there. Now, like I also said, this is a Cub Den 2. It's made for 2 people. You can get a Cub Den 1.5, which is made for 1 person plus a lot of gear, or 1 person plus a child or a smaller person and some gear, or you and your dog and some gear. You can also get it, like I said, this one has the netting around the perimeter netting. You can also get it without the netting. You can get it in seal nylon and Cuban. This is Cuban. This one right here is 0.51 Cuban. It's the little lighter weight Cuban. You know, 0.74 is probably a little bit more durable material, but 0.51 handles the canopy. This type of canopy, since there's no zippers or anything on the canopy, it handles the this style of tent very well. I hope that helps you on setting up the Cub Den. It's a little bit more complicated because it's asymmetrical, but once you do it once, it's very simple. It takes me about 2 minutes to set it up. I know pretty much where my poles need to go. What I like to do it, like I said, this is about 3 or 4 inches above the ground. Gets plenty of ventilation for most conditions. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you.